Well, hey, welcome to the journey, y'all. It is your boy, Journeyman Bell, aka Mr. 100, coming to you on this week's devotion. As we are dealing with, when me fights back, dealing with our emotions and retaliation from criticism. You know, I can honestly say that that's still an area I'm working on, y'all. Embracing critics with a proper response or lack thereof. And I think that a lot of us, when we've been kind of hurt and overlooked and things like that, I think our natural reaction is to retaliate and to give back some kind of thing. They used to call me back in the day, they used to call me the comeback kid, because somebody would throw something at me, anytime somebody would throw something at me, I would be ready to throw it back real fast. So today we're going to really try and work on that on this week, as we are dealing with the retaliation trap. You know, when we start dealing with the retaliation trap, a lot of times we want to pay back in some kind of form or another, or we look to be vengeful, or as it's defined, retaliate means to fire back at what was once came at you. So as we're looking at these traps, I want to give you a few little tips on today on how to recognize the traps, or what you should do once you get into those traps, because y'all, it's easy to just give back that fire. It's easy to give back that criticism or whatever that comes at you. But when you start to really develop and mature as a believer, you want to better handle the things that where critics come at you, and sometimes even people that love you, we seem to fire back at them too, because we don't like the pain that criticism comes with. We don't want to be criticized. And some of it's negative. I'm not going to just give all of it to a positive criticism, but some of it's negative, and those are the things that we have to kind of monitor better in our discipline places, to use these things as practical tools for growth. We want to grow from retaliation. So let's go through these traps as we're looking at Romans 12 and 17 real fast. It says, the first part of it that I want to say is, recompense no man evil for evil. Watch this. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. Ooh, jeez. Recompense to no man evil for evil. Lord, and retaliation is an evil for evil place. And the Bible is saying, hey, listen, don't pay them back. Ooh, that still hurt me. Out. That still hurt me. Don't pay them back. But watch this. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. Ooh, even men that hate you or despise you or criticize you. So we're going to look at these 3 quick points on today. We're going to look at how to keep the emotions chained, to offense, how the retaliation trap, it keeps emotions chained to offense places. We're going to talk about retaliation, how it multiplies, and resolution phase. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to deal with the revenge consumes. Understand that revenge consumes the energy, and we're going to deal with reveals the lack of trust in God's injustice. So that's kind of what we're going to look about in this retaliation trap. Let's remember this, that to feel fair, no peace. When feeling fair is no peace, it keeps the cycle alive. When it does not feel fair, then the peace is like, let's keep this cycle going. Let's keep this retaliation place going. Let's keep it going, because we can't find peace in whatever a person says to us and let it be so. There's always something we have to respond to. Those are vengeful places we have to always be very, very much aware of. So remember this, that God's call is bigger than the immediate revenge. What you're called to It's all a part of this place that you're in right now, that you're fighting with, that you're fighting against, that you're trying to combat against the things in God with. And that this is important for you to realize that, hey, the call is bigger than just your payback. Recompense no man evil for evil. This is bigger than just your payback. This is something greater that God is trying to develop inside of you. So that immediate relief is not going to, that immediate relief of revenge is not going to solve the bigger picture of what you're dealing with. So let's move on to why these emotional traps are important to be noted for, because it keeps emotions chained to offense. The more you try and retaliate, the more you're going to stay tied to the offense in which it comes. So it don't matter what you come back with. What matters is you keep coming back to it, and therefore you are bound to the offense, and therefore you are bound to the retaliation place of what the offense caused. And therefore there's a constant replay of hurt that postpones your healing. You're constantly repaying. Therefore, there's a constant postponement in your healing. The more you try and pay back, the longer it's going to take for you to heal, baby. The longer it's going to take for you to get back into the aligned place in God. And you cannot operate in a half-healed heart. It's got to be healed whole. Come on here. Watch this. Bitterness grows when anger is fed. As long as you continue to allow that anger to fester, to grow inside of you, then bitterness is going to continue to flourish. Your bitterness is going to be your flower, baby. As long as you continue to get angry about it, you have to find methods and find tools, find places of release that will help aid you in dealing with your anger. Confession has played a big role in my life. Because I've been angry over some things over the years, and I felt injustice over some things over the years, and I felt mishandled over some things over the years, and my anger just kept building and building and building and building till bitterness starts to set in. But you can't grow in that. Bitterness will grow in you, and it will stifle everything about your life. So we got to deal with that. Watch this. When you do this, you give people power over your peace. When you want to retaliate, that's just showing them that, hey, what I said to you is more powerful than you ignoring what I said to you. But we got this in us where we just got to get it out. We got to say it. We got to address it. And as long as you stay in that I got to address it place, you will continue to fall short in the places of power. You won't have power over your life because you will always feel chained to, coming back to that beginning, you'll always feel chained to the cycle because it'll always have to become a one-up place with you. Don't let it become a one-up place when God has so much more for your life, y'all. Let's go on to the second point, which is the retaliation multiplies, resolution phase. That's simply saying that as long as you continue to add to this retaliation, then the resolution for it will continue to fade. You will not see an end to it as long as you keep feeling like you have to revenge them. Because watch this, the revenge will only increase. As long as you want to retaliate, it's always going to be, I got to do something greater. I got to do something with more destruction. I got to do something with more power because I'm trying to show you what you did to me hurt. And I don't take it very well. And therefore, with that, the hurt response creates a deeper division. Whenever you respond out of a hurt place, hurtful words is only going to separate and create more division between you and the parties involved. It's going to continue to build a greater gap. I know I'm guilty of saying some things that I shouldn't have said to someone I love, to some people I love, and I kept opening up more and more space for that. Watch this. When peace is not chosen, offense continues. When you got to make a decision at peace. You got to make a real true decision at peace. Because if you don't make that decision for peace, then the chaos is going to continue. The offense is going to continue to build. Everything that you got connected to it is going to continue to build inside of you. Whew. This is a hard one here, y'all, because I'm dealing with this. Remember this, that revenge consumes your energy. Your future desires more attention than your repayment. Your future deserves or desires more attention or deserves more attention than repayment. Whew. Say that one more time. Your future deserves more attention than your repayment. You can't keep giving all of your energy to what you want to pay back, who you want to pay back. That's mentally, y'all. That's mentally wasting you planning on paybacks. The mentality behind trying to come up with a scheme to pay a person back for the things that they done, the criticisms that they did, the embarrassment. That's a lot of energy, y'all. A lot of energy. The emotional grudges carry parasites. Remember that. When you start to feel tired, it's because those emotional grudges are sucking the life out of you, sucking your abilities away from living the life that God has called you to be, God has called you to live, God has wanted you to be in. It is sucking the life out of you. Whew. It's a parasite. Revenge is a parasite that's never ever fulfilled because it always wants to get the last say. It ain't worth it, man. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Watch this. Bitterness hinders growth and becomes a tenant of space. Let's talk about bitterness. It becomes a tenant of space. It hinders your growth. Don't you want to grow in God? Don't you want to be more of what God has called you to be? Then you have to indeed remember this, that as long as you're bitter, you're not going to grow. Bitterness won't allow you to grow. Bitterness won't allow you to be better. Bitterness will not allow you to be what God has called you to be because you're too focused on the revenge place. Last 3 points on number 4. It reveals the lack of trust in God's injustice. When you release revenge, you create room for God's work. When you release revenge, you create room for God's work. I don't want to pay it back, Lord. I don't want to pay them back, God. I want them to have the best life. I want them to have a good life. I want them to have the life you intended for them, God. I don't want to pay them back, God. What you're doing is saying, God, whatever was in my heart, I want to create room for the work that you have inside of me. The reason why we don't trust him is because trusting God requires a surrender of our surrendering the desires to control the outcome. Trusting God requires surrendering the desires to control the outcome. Because his injustice, God may not pay them back the same way. He may not pay them back the way they hurt you. But he will serve justice to every area that needs to be justified. And his outcome has got to be the best outcome. Can you imagine if we let God and allow God to have the final say in some of the things that we have dealt with? We'll turn out better. We'll have less press on us. And we won't have any guilt. Because sometimes we can avenge to a place where they could die. You don't want that kind of vengeance. You don't want to take that into your hands. Let God handle them. Let God avenge your adversaries. Let God avenge those that have offended you. Last point is vindication is strongest when it comes from God, not self-defense. Vindication is strongest when it comes from God, not from self-defense. In other words, stop defending yourself. Stop trying to defend yourself. Let God vindicate you. We want to take it into our own hands. We want to fall into that retaliation trap so bad. But God said that if you would just let me defend you, He says the outcome will be better. He says I'll vindicate you and I'll prove every area that the enemy tried to insult, humiliate, criticize, and destroy you in. Don't fall for the trap. Retaliation is not always good. Stay calm and let God be your vindicator. This is Journey, where we take life one step at a time. We'll talk to y'all soon.